Let's see. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Novio. This is actually the season finale of the Novio Late Night Show, Adults Only Edition. This is season 1. I'm really excited because we're coming to the end of the year. And, I kind of wanted to tie everything in. And this episode, I feel like, is the perfect cherry on top for the season. I've always been wondering about soulmates and now twin flames, which is something that I didn't even know existed. It's a totally new term for me. But I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the guests that I've had for season 1. I've learned a lot from you all. And I hope that, if you're barely catching up or you have tuned in before, that you tune in next year. Because next year, I want to talk to more people, more creators. So if you are in that sex positivity or just like space of love, sex, and relationships, and you want to be featured, or people that I should feature, let me know. But without further ado, we actually have a really special guest. We have Brianna here with Higher Learning. So Higher Learning is a page dedicated to everything soulmates, twin flames, and more. So hi, welcome Brianna, and tell us a little bit about Higher Learning and how did that all come together for you?
Hi, thank you for having me. So it's higher healing, but close.
Why did I say learning?
It's just the nerves. It's just the nerves.
Yeah, sorry. Higher healing.
Okay, so higher healing came into play because I actually got bombarded by my twin flame, and I was just kind of like, once I got into this relationship with my twin flame, it like hit me, and we came into a point, and I'm going to discuss this a little later because there's different stages of the twin flame, but I hit a point of separation from my twin flame, and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of different synchronicities happening within this connection, and like what's happening at that point. So I started like researching. I started going and seeing certain people, healers, psychics, all that stuff. And I really educated myself on, all these different synchronicities and this intense connection. And it really sparked spirituality within myself. And so Higher Healing is a page where I discuss spirituality and depth, and twin flames and soulmates is a part of that conversation that I talk about. And so here we are today, and I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yes. So I guess before we jump into because you had mentioned there's 3 types of relationships. So before we jump into that, maybe kind of give us a little definition, like a quick definition of soulmate and twin flame. Because I feel like we kind of have,
Okay,
for most of us, we have like the soulmate part, I think. But it's like, what the hell is a twin flame?
Okay, so actually there's 3 relationships. We have a karmic, we have a soulmate, and then we have a twin flame. So I'll start with a karmic. Your karmic relationship, and we all have these. So if you can think back to a relationship where like you started dating someone and you were kind of feeling them, but maybe it was like, a great relationship from the very big, like from the beginning, and then out of nowhere it just like completely fell off. And sometimes those relationships can be really intense, but it's very like a painful ending to a relationship, and it's meant to teach you something. So it's like karma. It teaches you a lesson about yourself. It teaches you a lesson within what you want in a relationship, but they are not meant to be a lasting relationship. They are in your life to teach you something. So there's probably someone in your life that you could think of that maybe you dated for like a short period of time, and you think to yourself, you know what, that's not really the type of relationship I want. And maybe we weren't really as compatible as we thought we were.
Right.
So that's a karmic relationship. A soulmate connection is something where everyone on this planet has a soulmate out there, and you can have more than one soulmate. But the thing with soulmates is they can tend to turn out to be a karmic as well, depending on if you have a twin flame in your life, because someone who has a twin flame can
Mhm.
you can only have one twin flame, but if you have a twin flame, you can have also soulmates. But people who don't have a twin flame only have the options of soulmates in their life. Before I go into talking about what a twin flame is, a soulmate is a slow burn. It is an easy relationship. So your relationship will move in a very, slow progression, and you learn from each other. There's not that intensity. There's not that like fiery passion within that relationship. It builds gradually and you learn together. It's a very easy, loving relationship. Now, with a twin flame, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of intensity behind the relationship, and it's almost like this very instant connection. You go to this person, and when you meet them, because it's like this excuse me, and
Mhm.
you just you can't explain it, because it's like you think to yourself, like, what the heck? Like, why do I feel like I know this person? Or why do I
Right.
feel like this intense connection? Right? Me and my twin flame, we actually are not, our sun signs are not compatible. And I'll go into this a little bit more, but
Sorry, I was about to ask you, like, does that mean that, because I feel like I've met someone who maybe would be considered a karmic relationship now that you've kind of broken it down for me.
Mhm.
Um, it was someone who is the same sign as me, actually. He's a male Libra, which is so weird. But it was like that instant, like, connection, and then it kind of just, like, whoop, ended. But, like, do
Uh-huh.
you feel like that kind of, like, happened to you as well? Like, how did you know that that person was your twin flame?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really entirely know about twin flames until we actually separated recently. Because we've been in this relationship twice, and the synchronicities of it happening
Mhm.
match up, to the point when we started the relationship to the point we ended the relationship, and just little things that happen in between are the same thing. So I was like, wait a minute, I broke up with my twin flame in the summer, and the last, so like 2 years ago it happened the same thing, but we officially ended things and separated from each other in early August, same time as the previous time. So I was like, what the heck, like we are literally doing the same loop again, you know what I mean? And the thing
Right.
is, so I don't know if my twin flame is watching this. He might be, because he was low-key hitting me up on Snapchat.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, he was like,
Shout
what's
out to the twin flames.
shout out to the twin flames. He thought I was gonna get naked on this show. I was like, no, I'm not getting naked.
I mean, I'm
um,
not wearing a bra, but like.
but so anyways, I just, after we ended, like after things officially ended, and like I was just like, nah, this is just this feeling doesn't make sense. And the thing too is, like, when you end things with your twin flame, a part of you like dies, like, and you get this emotional wrecking out of you. And the first time we broke up, I went into like huge depression. Like the most dark night of my soul happened the first time we ended things. But we
Mhm.
didn't learn our lesson the first time, what we were supposed to learn when we had ended things the first time around. So when
Right.
we got back together, the same pattern happened again. Does that make sense? So you're going to keep going in a cycle with your twin flame until you decide to stop it, until you recognize it. Okay.
Oh my God. See, I'm in that section right now with this person who was my situationship, but maybe he is my twin flame. I don't know, because I've been the one to go back, and then he comes back to me, and then I end it and go back. And now I'm in that space where I'm like, I want to hit him up, but I'm like, I shouldn't, because I know we're gonna just go back to the same thing. Are those toxic people? Are you
Okay,
defining
so at least,
toxicity?
okay, so I'm gonna let you know, twin flames can turn toxic, and they only turn toxic because you don't learn what you're supposed to learn. Okay, so
Okay.
again, going back to what a twin flame is, your twin flame is a split soul of yourself. So God basically put you on this earth. He gave you one soul and he split you off, and now you became two people. Now, in this time, it's your job to, you have your own lives, right, coming into this world, but once you meet your twin flame, you are basically faced with each other and you figure out, okay, he teaches you things about yourself that you don't want to face, and you do the same to him. So there's a lot of triggering, and then there's a lot of mirroring that happens, right? So
Yeah.
like, for example, like when it came to the relationship with me and my twin flame, our relationship was so intense so quickly, and then afterwards, like there was a lot of highs and lows, and in the
Mm-hmm.
lowest points it was really low, because it was like I would be like, yo, you need to work on this, and he'd be like, yo, you got to work on this. And so there's a lot of like this where you're like telling the other person like, hey, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. And that's basically your half of your soul is telling you, like, facing you, like, hey, these are the things that you need to work on. And that's what your twin flame is supposed to do. It's supposed to be like confront you, so then you can be a better person. It makes you grow. And the thing that makes twin flames so special is because they do that, but they triggered this awakening in you. So when you notice that and you realize that, you go through what's called the awakening. And the thing is, in a twin flame relationship, you have one divine and you have one
Mm-hmm.
masculine, right? Okay. So when it comes to those parts, you can be of divine feminine and still be the male in the relationship. Okay.
Okay.
Whoever awakens first is the divine feminine, and whoever is the one chasing the partner is the divine feminine, and whoever is the runner is the divine masculine.
Oh, I'm
So
definitely chasing. I'm for sure
yeah, so
chasing.
I'm the
I want to
chaser.
be like, hello. Like, how are you?
I'm the chaser. Okay.
I'm
So
a chaser too.
I'm the divine feminine, and he knows this. But I'm not gonna chase this time, and that's what's different. Okay. So
Right.
you so you're, like I said, you go through these synchronicities, you go through the same patterns with this person, right? And I'm sure there's plenty of people that we know out there where we think of like, dude, you're in this toxic relationship, right? And I could think of like 3 people that I know of that are in a toxic relationship, but one of them for sure I know is a twin flame relationship, but they haven't learned to communicate. They haven't learned their lesson. And so they're just going to keep doing this until they do.
You know what's
Um,
crazy? I feel like also, I don't know if I'm putting a big deal for like the end of the year, but the reason why I also wanted to talk to you about soulmates and twin flames and like relationships in general is
mhm.
because I feel like every year, I don't know if you do, but every year I kind of like go through my whole year of relationships, friendships, situationships, and I'm like, dang, like, what did I learn? And then am I going to bring all that energy to like the next year? So do you feel like you're in that stage too? Kind of just like, okay, well, the year's ending. Like, what am I doing? What's happening? Does that
Um,
play a role?
that does play a role. I mean, we just went into what is it, the new moon, solar eclipse, and right now is the time for new beginnings. And if you want to change what comes into 2021, now is the time to make that change. That means like you should really be putting in your attentions and writing in your journal like every day what you want. And if you're a person that's struggling with abundance, love, whatever it is, now is the time to change that path. And one thing I do suggest doing is the 3x3 rule for manifesting into the new year. And
What
what
is
that
that?
is, so what that is you're going to basically, so let's just put an example. I want more abundance in my life. So I'm going to take my journal. I'm going to write a clear sentence that says, I will have enough money to pay for my bills and have extra money to spend as I please. And I'm going to write that sentence 33 times on a piece of paper, and I'm going to do that for 3 days at the same time.
Okay.
Now, and I challenge anybody who's watching the show to do this. I also teach this on the Higher Healing page. And that will start your manifesting, and that will start your mind to process into, a more positive state, not alone, but it also puts out whatever thoughts you have, thoughts, whatever you speak, you put that energy out there in the universe. So if you have positivity, then you're going to radiate that positivity, and you will then receive that positivity. You put that negativity out there, you're going to receive that negativity. So
That's
earlier
so
today,
true.
yeah,
It's true.
yeah, 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 exactly. So it's it's all about your mindset, and you have the power to change. So like if this person who you believe is maybe your twin flame, you have all the power in the world to change that too. You know what I mean? So this year has been kind of a crazy year for people. There's been a lot of separations between twin flames, but now we're also coming into a point where there are going to be a lot of reuniting twins happening. And I definitely want to mention to anybody who's watching this, you're like, as I mentioned, if you are a twin flame, you can have a soulmate, but your ultimate partner in your life is your twin flame. So
what do you mean by ultimate partner? Like, this is someone that I will have a long-term relationship with, or this is just someone that maybe it'll be long-term for a period of time?
No, this is someone you are supposed to marry. You're supposed to have kids. You're supposed to ascend with. But the thing is, so earlier I mentioned that there's stages within twin flames, right? Until you reach the last stage is the only time you will then reunite harmoniously with your twin flame. So to kind of clarify like what that is, that final stage, like you go through the awakening process. That's step one. So this is when like you met your twin flame. You realize there's a connection with this person. Then you go through the stage of turmoil. There's this conflict where you basically show each other like your mirror self what you need to work on. Then you go through the separation phase, where you guys, fall off the wagon because this conflict became a little too much. And now you both need to work on yourself. During the separation phase, it's very difficult because sometimes your twin flame, usually the divine masculine, is not the awakened one, right? So in the separation phase is when the divine feminine will then awaken to this connection. And sometimes the divine feminine, he's gonna run. That's what happens in the separation. The divine feminine will run, and sometimes they'll meet a karmic relationship. And
oh my God, you just pointed that out because, okay, so I finished my situation. Well, I wouldn't say I finished. I think it just ended. There was no communication because I feel like you don't always need closure, but I kind of picked up the cues and I was like, okay, like he's not fucking with me anymore. So I'm like, okay, I'm peace, I guess. So that ended. And then literally like not much time later, like maybe a week after Thanksgiving, I met this new person who's really cool. And I feel like all of the cool things, well, not cool, but like some of the hurtful things that happened in the other situationship and lessons I learned, I'm now bringing that into this new relationship. Like the things I've learned, all the positive stuff, I'm like, now I'm communicating more. And now I'm like, okay, I need to do more of this and more of that. But it just kind of sucked that like I couldn't do all of the positive stuff with the situationship. I'm like, it took him to like now me doing it with somebody else. Like, kind of sucks, but it's cool because I like the other guy too.
Well, I mean, the only way to really know if he's your twin flame is if like you do get that feeling. But I mean, there's so many ways to also like to know if he is. Like you can know if someone's your twin flame even from your birth chart. And you can match up all those and see if there's those synchronicities that say on the birth chart. And I'm not gonna lie, last night I checked and I was like, yep, he is. I was like, I mean, I kid you not. I've gone to 5 psychics. I've gone to 3 different healers, and every single person is like, yeah, he's your twin flame. I just recently went to a shaman healer, and she witnessed some crazy stuff in the healing. Shout out to Erin on Instagram. She's definitely helped me a lot recently with some healings, and the most recent one was pretty crazy what she witnessed between my soulmate and my twin flame. So in one of the healings, she like saw my and I should also add this. So like every person's soul is what we call a higher self, okay? And the idea of spirituality, we call that and define that as a higher self. And we have these realms in spirituality, okay? So heaven is considered 5D. We have 4D, and that's where all the souls are. So your soul, my soul, all the souls are within this 4D dimension, right? And then we live in a 3D world. The 3D world is what we define as not real. 4D is where time, it doesn't matter, and it like that's where everything happens. So when you have this idea, and that's why they also say when you manifest, you act like it is. You want to act like you have it, because technically it's already done. That's a process. It's already done. Because in the 4D, it is already there. So let's just put it this way, like technically if we were to go based off these rules, then we would say that my twin flame and I are together. Well, anyways,
hey, you're manifesting for 2021.
So it's said to, like they say, so the thing is, like when you do have a twin flame, you have a twin flame. If you have one, great, and it's in you're in that 4D space with them. And then also you have a soul family, and that soul family is with you as well in the 4D. So when the shaman was working on me, she went like, oh, this is crazy, but when she was doing the healing, and I kid you not, I can't sleep, okay? So I have a really bad sleeping. In fact, I actually know my twin flame has a hard time sleeping, so we're mirroring each other right now when it comes to our sleeping patterns. Anyways, I told her, I was like, I'm having a hard time sleeping. She's like, okay, I'm gonna do some healing on you. She did some healing on me, and I knocked the F out when she started it. And after the ending of the report, I actually dreamt a lot of what she was saying, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I dreamt that. I saw you do that. I saw Jesus. I saw all this that you're talking about.
But you were like knocked out.
I was asleep. Yeah. I was asleep. And everything.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, so Erin does a really good job on healing people. She gives you a report afterwards, and we have there's shamans, there's Reiki healers. I've done tons of Reiki healings.
I was gonna ask you too, because I mean, if people just tuned in, we have Higher Healing with us. It's _higher_healing on Instagram. But also, like, what other services do you provide? Because I mean, I know you started like doing readings, but maybe you kind of go into detail a little bit, because you're mentioning like a lot of the healing, and besides you know, information on twin flames and soulmates, like what else is going on with the page?
So right now I am doing readings. So that's career readings, that's love readings. There's also just like some guidance readings. If you have questions, yes or no questions, I can answer those for you. So there's a list of different types of readings that I offer, and then as well as like mentoring. So if you're someone that like need some help with manifesting, or you're someone that like is having a hard time with, like, maybe you've had depression, maybe you're not you're just not feeling great about life right now, or maybe you're dealing with a hard love relationship, anything spiritual, and I'm basically there to help you. So I teach what's called also I talk about like chakras, right? We have 7 chakras, and all that is really connected to like your energy system. So when you have a twin flame, you and your twin flame share the same chakras. Okay. So we have the crown, we have the third eye, we have the throat, we have the heart, we have the solar plexus, we have the sacral that's underneath the belly button, and then we have the root chakra, which is down where like your tailbone is. So each of them play a different role. And so I plan to try and help clear those for people. So if people have depression, or you are just mentally not feeling well, not motivated, you're sick, I'm going to help you clear that energy, because I was someone that suffered with depression for, I don't know, all my life. And since starting spirituality, all that is just gone. I'm in a much happier, loving space right now. And when you go through this awakening journey with your twin flame and you awaken, you allow this type of different embodiment, and you allow your chakras to open. And that's the key. The key is to have your chakras open, because if you have your chakras open, you allow unconditional love into your space. And if you can allow that during the separation phase, then you allow to heal your twin flame, because that's what happens in the separation phase of your twin flame.
Right.
You have to do healing for yourself. So like if he's your twin flame, that means like, let's say that guy's your twin flame and now you're with somebody else. If you're with this other person, that's meant for you. That person's then there for you to teach you something. He's there to help you heal whatever wounds were caused or make you realize what healing you need to do. So like my twin flames with a karmic relationship. So that person, and technically that's a soul contract that was meant to happen no matter what. But that person who he's in a karmic relationship with is supposed to teach him something out of that relationship. Okay. And that's what happens with the divine. The divine masculine will tend to go to a karmic partner because the intensity of the relationship is just too much. And sometimes they feel like there's so many different things that can happen between, like, twin flame relationships are different, but there's always these stages, right? And there's always a separation. But sometimes the relationship is so intense for the divine masculine, and the divine feminine is chasing the divine masculine, right? And she's the one that's like, awaken, 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 I love you so much, da, da, da. Like they are the one that like are trying to open the eyes of the divine masculine. But the thing is, when you find that twin flame, you don't want to do that. You want to surrender to what is. You want to surrender to yourself. You want to have your chakras open. You want to allow this love, because if you can heal yourself eternally, because you are solely connected with your twin flame, you are going to bring back your twin flame, whether he realizes it or not. But he's essentially awakening himself, even though maybe he doesn't know what twin flames are. He will still awaken with you, and you're kind of pulling him with you, whether he realizes it or not. And so going back to like what you're saying, what I offer, like I want to help other people, whether you have a twin flame, trying to help you with that, whether it's to heal your traumas, your inner child, your Akashic records. I want to help you heal all those things. I'm going to mentor you. And then eventually I'm going to offer Reiki sessions, and that will help heal and boost you. So if you have some like heart blockages, or you have any blockages within your chakras, I'm going to be able to take away those blockages, so then you can stay open, you can feel positive, you can feel this sense of peace. That's what higher healing is about. Higher healing is supposed to basically bring positivity, enlightenment, and awakening to people, and just bring this unconditional love. Because the thing about spirituality versus religion is spirituality is something really deep, and it's not something, there's no like set rules. It's very much like working on yourself in this inner working, whether you have a twin flame or not, and whether you decide to be with him or not, or whether you have a soulmate or not. No matter what, it's all about you and your internal self to be happy and in love with yourself. Because let me tell you, girl, like, if you don't love yourself, if you don't love yourself 100%, then you are going to get someone else that is the same as you. So if you don't love yourself 100%, then you're going to find someone that doesn't love them, and that's not going to be a good relationship. You want to love yourself 100%, right? And let's say you don't bring in your twin flame, at least you'll bring in someone that's going to give you that same love, because you love yourself that much. And that's what spirituality is all about. It's unconditional love. It's a revolving circle of that. And once people realize that, then people become so much happier. It changes
For sure,
people.
like I just like, it's like a lot of it is hitting me, because I feel like this year has been, well, for not just for me, but for a lot of people, obviously, like the pandemic, people are unemployed, people don't really know what's going on with their lives. And even though we're all going through a pandemic, like having this person before being so consistent, like that was like really, it felt good, right? Because I'm like, I have this consistent relationship with this person during a fucking pandemic, like, like I feel like I found a connection with him. Maybe it was one-sided, unfortunately, but like you said, I feel like maybe when I was with that person, I wasn't really like loving myself. And it wasn't until like it ended that I was like, whoa, like I deserve way more. Like I am worthy of this, this, and this. Like I even had like some talks with my friends, kind of like how you said, like they were like, girl, like, why are you with him? Like, if anything, like, you don't deserve that. Like, so it is a lot about growth. And I do share on this like live too that like I started Ito Novio because I've never been in a real relationship. So it's kind of crazy, you know, like how you kind of tie in your life and your passions, and then you created a project too. Because I mean, who would have thought that you would create Higher Healing, right? Like it just it happened this year, and that's I think the beauty of like quarantine. A lot of people just started posting things that I was like, whoa, I never knew that you could do readings or healing, or like that you wanted to help people in spiritual awareness, you know what I mean? Because if you guys don't know, she also does have a jewelry page, but I would have never thought that she was like into this type of stuff. So it's very, very cool. Check out her page as well. I don't know the actual like
it's at creations _ by Bree. Bree is with 2 E's, guys.
Yes, her jewelry is amazing. Definitely check that out as well. But I don't know if we have enough time to do a reading. I think we do actually, unless you wanted to touch up like a little bit more points of like twin flames and soulmates, but I kind of want to do the reading.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely do the reading. I do want to say like, so, I mean, the thing is, I did all like this readings and the healings. I didn't realize that was a part of me, but it became a part of me when I awakened, right? Because I realized that I was a starseed, and I realized I was an empath. Check out my page and it'll tell you what all those things are. But basically because I am those things, and I'm also a twin flame, those people are very special. And there's definitely more people out there like who are just like me. And if you're just like me and you're those things, then you have a mission on this planet to help people ascend to the 5D. And by doing that, you help with healings, you help with readings, you teach about spirituality, you help reunite other twin flames together, you educate people on their chakras. You have a mission to try and help people in a positive way. And I didn't realize that until my twin flame came in my life. So whether he decides to come back in my life, I'm still very grateful for him, because he made me realize, you know, this great positive outcome that could happen within me. Because look at me now, I'm doing well. I don't have any depression. I'm happy. I'm making a difference in this world, and I hope to continue that. But for anybody who wants to know more, you know, hit up my page, and you'll get more on twin flames and soulmates. You might have one, and I can definitely help you if you want to know. But I guess let's do a reading.
Yeah, so don't forget to follow her on Instagram, _higher_healing. Okay.
Yes.
Definitely good stuff right there.
All right. I'm
kind of scared. I'm like, this is my 3rd life reading. So actually, I should definitely connect you to my big Fernanda. She actually is really into spirituality, and she knows how to read as well. She kind of yeah.
Oh, I thought she was like totally religious. I didn't know she was spiritual.
No, it's so crazy. Like I'm telling you, a lot of people like during the quarantine, like I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you were into stuff like that.
It's very surprising. Sometimes it does. It just hits people out of nowhere, and then you really get into it. And I definitely suggest, if you're interested in doing tarot, if you're interested in, you know, learning about spirituality, your 3rd eye is really a big part of, you know, your intuitions. So like when you also have a twin flame, you can actually communicate telepathically. So I can actually feel him when he's mad or he's distressed, or if he's thinking about me. I know when he's doing all that stuff. And that's what's magical about twin flames, is you have that you can communicate telepathically. You can't really do that with soulmates. So there's a lot of magic that happens within twin flames. So that's why it's, you know, it's the ultimate partner. But you have to work on yourself in order to get to that harmonious union. Because if you're separated currently with your twin flame, know that it doesn't have to be the end with them, but you just have to work on your own healing if you want to reunite with them.
Period.
Yeah, period. You gotta, it all comes down to loving yourself, healing your traumas, inner child, Akashic records. all that stuff. So I'm just shuffling the cards right now, and we are getting ready for this reading for this guy she wants to know about. You want to still do that one guy, or did you want to do the first one?
The first one.
We are okay. All right, I'm gonna put this on mute because I gotta chant his name, and
Okay.
I don't think he wants me to chant his name on the live.
Yeah, no, please don't. We follow discretionary protocols here.
All right, just give me a minute.
Okay. So she just put this on mute. But yeah, this is like my third tarot reading live that I've had. I just feel like I said, this is the end of the year. I kind of want to tie loose ends. I'm really into like growing myself. I've definitely done a lot of growth. If you guys are new to my channel, I've never had a boyfriend, and recently I had a really long-term situationship. So it's kind of been interesting because I used to be afraid that I would never connect with a person like that, but Lord and behold, like I did. And I learned a lot through that little relationship, and I'm ready to kind of just like move forward. And recently I've met up with somebody else, and the vibe is really cool. The energy is great. And I just want to make sure that it's healthy and that I'm not being toxic. Like, I'm trying not to be La Toxica for 2021 and just kind of like go with the flow, but go with the flow and learn. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're hearing me. Yeah. I'm excited, but like nervous. But yeah, that's why she's on mute, because we're trying not to like say any names out here. And if they're watching, well, good, because maybe y'all will learn something. We'll see. Oh my God, the suspense. Oh wait, I think you're still on mute. Okay. Well, while she's doing her thing, don't forget, we're live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the last episode of the Ito Novio Late Night Show for season 1. Season 2 will come back in January with more guests. And more guests, hopefully that kind of like push the boundaries a little bit. I kind of went a little slow for this season because I was trying to get my feet wet. But next season, I want to have content creators, for example, from OnlyFans, like sex parties, people that are doing something a little bit more out there, or whatever is considered taboo, right? Because what's your yum might not be yum for somebody else. But I think it's important to have that conversation. And then also because Instagram is pretty much censoring people in the sex industry, which kind of sucks. So yeah, that's why I've also been trying to not be so out there on Instagram, because they censor your work, which kind of sucks. But yeah, we'll be doing that next year. I'm really excited. And then also, I hope, if COVID and everything kind of like gets better, I can actually meet some of my guests in real life, because with everything being virtual, this is nice, don't get me wrong, but I would like to meet people in person and interview them. But again, you could always DM me on Instagram. It's KRMENPR girl. Let me know if you know of any creators that I should interview, or people that you think would be a great addition for the show. I just want to keep pushing boundaries, keep interviewing people, and doing my thing. Girl, I'm scared. I don't know if this is good or bad.
Okay, ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, I just chanted whatever I was chanting. I'm gonna lay out the cards.
Okay. I'm like sweaty. I'm like, why am I sweaty?
All right. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. All right.
I love all this commentary.
Oh, girl. Okay. I'm gonna now I'm going to shuffle some what's called like guidance cards to tell you like what you need to do. So I'm gonna shuffle that real quick.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know there was a. Is that like a separate deck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just dealt out your love deck, and now I'm going to put out some energy and what you need to. Oh, two came out. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let's see if there's any more. So the thing is, like, usually when I do a reading, I like to shuffle, and then whatever cards come out is usually what, the archangels and God have to say.
Yeah.
And so anytime I do a reading, I always chant a protection and a blessing for the reading, so then it can be accurately portrayed to you, as well as chant you and your the person that you want to know about. Okay. All right.
I'm ready.
This is for the first one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I do feel like this person is your twin flame. But right now you have to do a lot of forgiving and learning from this experience because now you've officially separated from him.
Yeah.
Let this be a time where your friends help you and guide you. But also don't take too much of what they say in consideration into this, but like let them be like your outlet to like escape from like what's like this trauma or like whatever has happened within this relationship. Go to your friends, like do something fun and do things that you want to do in this time. The cards came out. It's safe for you to love, make the effort, new love, stay optimistic, excuse me, and this is worth waiting for. So what I'm getting is, so it did come out that a new love has come into your life. So that could be the person that we were discussing earlier. So that person has entered into your life, which kind of has stirred up maybe some new feelings because this other person is now into your life. But this relationship with this person, it's basically asking you to stay optimistic about. So even though it tragically ended for you with this person, it's saying that you need to stay optimistic. You need to forgive and learn from this relationship, and know that you need to make the effort when the time is right. Because you are the divine feminine, you are the chaser. So
Yeah.
this is a time to like really reflect on what has happened. It's a time for you to stay optimistic. The energy card came out. It's time for you to release the negativity. So that kind of ties in with forgiving and learning there. So you need right now, it's a very important time to really release all that negativity that's within you. So if I were to assume, based off this relationship, you're probably feeling some blockages within your heart chakra and your throat. And hold on. If I do this, it's because I'm getting a message. So hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, your heart, your throat, and your third eye are a little blocked right now. So you need to try and work on that. And if you want to know how to work on that, I can consult you afterwards on how to do that. Anybody else who's interested in a reading and you figure out what blockages are blocked, you can hit me up. And then we have the card, Show the World the Real You. So if this show is like you being able to release who you are, then obviously this show has been a really good place for you to, explore that. But I'm just saying that you need to continue being honest with yourself and as well as through others. So maybe you're like trying to hide the fact that like this person is what people are portraying him as. Don't portray him as that person, because he probably isn't that person. You just need to be really honest with the connection, be honest with who you are, and don't feel like you have to put up this front because of what you're feeling for this person, or in things in general. And the card conclusions are within reach. So you're going to probably come to a realization of more so of this connection coming here probably in January is when you're going to really see some movement and what's going to be happening with this particular person. But the cards are suggesting that this is someone that's definitely a part of your life for a reason. And I'm getting the fact that this person might be your twin flame, because we have the cards, he's worth waiting for and you need to make the effort. But there needs to be some healing done before that can happen. So definitely not bad things are coming from this person, and bad things are not happening from this reading. So it's just a matter of you putting in that time and energy into yourself right now, which makes sense because that's what happens in the separation phase when it comes to your twin flame. You know, you have to embody your truest self. And that's what that card was mentioning earlier, like show the world your true self. And that means you have to really embody who you really are and not be afraid of, you know, anybody's opinions, and be real with your twin flame too, like as much as possible, but really need to work on the healing that has happened within this relationship in order for it to come back together in the future. But it definitely seems like this is something that might be no twin flame.
I don't want to cry, but I'm just like, ugh. It's a weird year. I'm a drink. But yeah, no, thank you for that. That's it's interesting, I think, definitely, like the whole process. And honestly, y'all, if y'all have been tuning in, like she can also do this for you virtually, like because of COVID and everything. And fun fact, she's not even in LA. She's based out of
Napa, Northern California.
Yeah, Northern California. So, you know, like if you're from up there or not, like because of the power of social media, like she could reach anybody anywhere.
Oh yeah, and the same is with healings too. So like when I start offering Reiki healings, you can actually do that virtually. I would just need certain information, but like I said, if you're interested in any of the things, mentoring, readings, healings, let me know and I'll help direct you. But that was kind of a brief reading. There are more extensive readings that I do offer, but for the sake of time and for the sake of this video, this was your reading. But I think it was overall a really good reading, and I don't think it was anything you didn't know.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So we have come to the end of the show, and I want to thank you so much for being my last guest for season 1 of the Tu Novio Late Night Show. I think that was a beautiful way to kind of like tie up everything. As everything, you know, everything comes to an end. So season 1 is chapter 1, and then next year will be season 2, which I'm really interested in, like pushing the boundaries between love, sex, and relationships. But before we go, let us know all of the social handles that we can follow you and any businesses that you would like if people are interested in connecting with you.
All right. Well, I got a lot of businesses. We'll just start off with Higher Healing. So Higher Healing, the Instagram is @_higher_healing. So that's Higher Healing. That's my spiritual page. That's where I give you guidance, readings, healings, mentoring on spirituality. And then I do jewelry. So I make crystal jewelry, which also ties into spirituality because it helps you with different protections and opening your chakras. So those two align with each other. But that page is @creations_by Bree with 2 E's. And I also am a photographer at Images by Bree. One word, Bree with 2 E's again. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. So don't forget to follow all 3 of her social handles. I'm also going to put all of her information on the description below. And if you want to check her out, or just like, you know, connect with her, or you've been thinking about getting more into spirituality or just finding that journey for yourself, please do. And don't forget, we're live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll come back next year in 2021. So thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.